What mythical creatures, what magical beasts lurk deep in the wilderness of Canada? Here are three of the most famous: a Wendigo, a Loup Garou, and of course, a Sasquatch. Which are fact, which are fiction, which are true, which are legends, myths, and lore? First up, a Wendigo. As the legend goes, the Wendigo was once a lost hunter, and during a time of extreme cold, he turned to cannibalism. After consuming another human's flesh, he turned into a crazed man-beast and roamed the forest in search of more people to eat. Some legends say you can only become a Wendigo through cannibalism. Others say it can happen due to extreme greed. And I bet you're saying to yourself, Wes, how will I know a Wendigo when I see one? Well, I'll tell you right now. Wendigos are said to stand 15 feet tall. Skinny, really skinny, with the skin pulled tight over their bones and skulls. Antlers at the top of their head. Their eyes are sunken back, but glowing like hot coals. They have extremely sharp teeth and terrible breath. The Wendigo dental plan is not a good one, so they have really bad breath. They're like known for this. They have amazing strength and endurance. They have superhuman eyesight, hearing, and sense of smell. Some say Wendigos have incredible agility and speed. Others say they walk in a zombie haggard-like manner. But perhaps one of the creepiest traits is a Wendigo's ability to mimic human voices. Super creepy. If I hear a human calling me from inside the dark forest, not going anymore, don't care, it's a Wendigo, not doing it. But Wes, if I see one, how do I kill it? Well, I'm glad you asked. Some say it can be killed by a conventional weapon, like a club or a gun. Others say you have to cut out its icy heart and melt it over a roaring fire. Those are two very drastically different approaches. I don't really have any better information for you there, so good luck if you see one. Fortunately, in this case, like all good myths and legends, there hasn't been too many sightings recently, so I wouldn't go worrying about that just yet. But that brings me on to our next one. The Loup Garou. It's a French-Canadian folklore, and it's like a werewolf, but not always a werewolf. Like, it doesn't have to be a wolf. It could be a cat. Sometimes it could be an ox, or a pig, or an owl. And unlike the traditional werewolf where you transform under a full moon, this one is every night. If you see a Loup Garou, it will change back into its human form and reveal its secret, thus making you a Loup Garou for 101 days. Should you speak of this secret to anyone, you will also make them a Loup Garou. Oh, secrets. So convenient for something so mythical. But like any terrifying legend, it was often used to scare children. Parents would say things like, make your bed or the Loup Garou will get you. I don't know how effective that was, but if I was a kid, yeah, maybe, for sure. Basically, it's a French-Canadian werewolf. They do have some differences, but basically it's a werewolf. And we have so few facts about the Loup Garou, probably because of the similarities to werewolves. Often, I'm sure if they were seen, they were mistaken for a werewolf. So probably some of that got lost there. I'm sure that's a fact. Not that they don't exist. Not that we haven't had a real sighting since the 1700s, which, how reliable was that? You know what I mean? Yeah. No pictures. Yeah, they didn't take out their phone and take a photo in the 1700s. I don't know why. Crazy. Basically what I'm saying is next time you come visit Canada, we have werewolves too. But they could be a cat, or a pig, or an ox, or an owl. So just be more afraid. Finally, we get to the Sasquatch. Bigfoot, woo! Oh, the most famous of them all. Similar to the abominable snowman of the Himalayas or the Yetis of Asia, Bigfoot, well, you don't need an introduction. It's a Sasquatch. The Sasquatch lives primarily in the west coast of British Columbia, Canada, but will stretch as far down as Northern California. There has been more sightings of the Sasquatch and more excitement around this legend than probably any other creature to ever exist, at least on land. Some believe it used to exist, like a premature version of man, the missing link. And some people say the sightings are people mistakenly seeing a bear walk on 2 feet, because bears do that sometimes. But let's get back to the more important details. A Sasquatch stands at 9 feet tall, weighs around 800 pounds, with a footprint that is nearly 2 feet long. That's a big mofo. There has been some famous Sasquatch footprints recovered over the years. Some super famous photos, always blurry, always blurry. There's also this film footage from 1967, which is probably the most popular footage of Bigfoot ever. Many of these have proved to be hoaxes, and the pranksters themselves have come forward to admit as much. Some of them you can write off as crazy people, but some of them, you just believe them. My friend Miles, not a friend of a friend, like a good friend of mine, saw something that he couldn't explain and has probably one of the most popular videos in the last 10 years on the subject. Here's part of the clip from my buddy Miles. I encourage you to go to his YouTube page and watch the full-length
clip there. It is fascinating.
Sure, that's him. Look at how the way he's walking.
Oh, I wish you could see it better in this thing.
He's huge.
That is pretty big.
And my buddy Miles is not just some guy out walking in the Canadian wilderness. He's actually a biologist. Yeah, he didn't want to see a Sasquatch. He doesn't like people talking about this. It makes him sound less credible as a biologist. I don't blame him. But when you see something, you see something. He knows what he's talking about. The fact that they're looking at this thing in the snow and it looks too big, it's moving too fast, it has no snowshoes, it doesn't have a backpack, where is it going? Whether you believe any of this or not, going down the Sasquatch rabbit hole is super fun, super compelling. Unlike the Wendigo and the Loup Garou, they are terrifying. They are hunting and eating people. With a Sasquatch, you get sightings, but you don't get these terrifying, gonna eat your children type stories. It's kind of just this mysterious, mythical, hairy beast in the woods. I think that's why it's most people's favorite one, because it's not as scary. For years, people have been studying Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti, Abominable Snowman, and they've even collected samples of hair. So far, they've all turned out to be different species of bears and dogs. But that doesn't mean the next sample won't be the one. I love looking at this kind of stuff. Any kind of magical creature fascinates me to no end. So thank you guys for going on this little journey with me. Please, in the comments, if you have any other mythical beasts, I would love to read up on them. So please throw them in there. I would love to know. I just thought I'd do some Canadian ones because, hey, I'm Canadian. Stay away from the Wendigos. Stay away from the Loup Garous. Keep looking for the Sasquatch. And maybe use the buddy system if you're going to be out in the Canadian wilderness. Don't forget to click all the buttons and like all the things. Really appreciate you guys. See you in the next one, team.